Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Cleveland Browns Moohead Radio halftime show with the score. Oh, what is the score? Yes, I am watching the game. 29-16, the Browns up on the Kansas City Chiefs. Uh, this is a dress rehearsal for the regular season. So after the game, there will be a post-game show as well. I'm just looking over statistics, and I'm not overly inspired when it comes to the offense. But the defense is where I want to start here. Obviously, the defense is what we saw for the first string defense is going to be a little better because they were playing against second unit players. But it was that they were going after the ball. They were really pursuing. They were playing hard. They were controlling the line of scrimmage. I like to see that kind of stuff. Um, there's so much that I can talk about. I can just mention things kind of quickly in passing. The Jakeem Grant thing makes you wonder whether he was really ready to come back or not. But the first two kickoff returns by the Browns, one by Grant, one by Demetric Felton, they lost their footing. And then later, we don't know exactly what happened to Cade York, but whatever that may be. I don't know what kind of condition this field is in, but I have questions about those first two kickoff returns. Double P, that's what I'm discussing. Uh, it's not bad voodoo. It's a bad field. People sliding all over the place. I don't know what the story is. I really don't. Of course, we'd all like to see 29 points in the first half against the Bengals. That's not likely to happen. Yeah, exactly. Andrew Bogut's career in Cleveland? Question mark, question mark. What can I tell you? Linda Lovelace had a lot more. Oh, what else? What else? What else? Statistically speaking, Deshaun Watson was 50% completions, 5 completions, 92 yards, no sacks, a TD, and 115 rating. Dorian Thompson Robinson, better known as DTR, 6 for 11, 80 yards. He took a sack with a 77.8. What I can tell you that I'm concerned about is that DTR is now seeing a faster game, and you can see it in his reactions. But part of me is very worried about whether Kevin Stefanski's gotten into his head, because what we saw initially in the preseason, he was locking in and he was, doing his thing. Looks like the first primary receiver is being taken away from him, and there is the typical rookie confusion going on here. So we'll see how that plays out. To be very honest with you, Jordan Wilkins should never play again. If that's who the Fumble Rooskies were, who is the running back who fumbled the 2 balls? Jordan Wilkins, I believe. And I don't understand. I know that Watson was pissed off. I'm watching, going back and forth between Cleveland coverage and national coverage. But the national coverage bored me to death because all they wanted to talk about was Patrick Mahomes and all that bullshit. And I could give a flying fuck about that. The Browns' running game is non-existent. That doesn't surprise me. The Browns' defensive front looked very, very good in the time that they were on the field. So I think that is a real positive. Blaine Gabbert, we know who Blaine Gabbert is. He's 5 for 11 for 90 yards. You give him time, he can hurt you, but he can also throw the ball really behind a receiver and end up giving up pick sixes. He's done it his whole career. Bouchel, the guy who was supposed to be the second string quarterback, looked like horse pucky with a 43 rating. I'll pick out some things that I remember because I only have 12 minutes here. The play that Amari Cooper caught a 53-yard pass, that was a play in which he and Deshaun Watson actually connected out of the pocket. It was good to see that he kept running his pattern and that Deshaun Watson found him. Deshaun Watson made a great touchdown pass to the Chief and all, not to the Kansas City Chief, to David Njoku. And he also made a really nice pass over the middle to Donovan Peoples-Jones, but there's still too little separation between receivers and defenders, even with the second unit out there. And David Bell still shows me no ability to get open. And this is going to be something that will be ongoing as he makes the roster and Watson doesn't. Watson has really been pretty much invisible as well. Nice to see 33 people checking out the halftime show. And just reminding everybody, I will be back after the game with a post-game show because I'm just that kind of cow. Is Cade York a nutcase? Because Jim is saying he is. I just think that his emotionally, he's just all every which way. And that's a good point, Bronk. David Bell clipped too as in a return. So that's not real good for him either. Yeah, if you're watching the Kansas City coverage, God help your soul. They're probably talking about Lenny Dawson about now. Yeah, and it is unfortunate. Jakeem Grant Jr. is a guy, or senior. Junior might have a chance. He's not born yet. It looked to me as if on the plant, his knee gave away. And I don't know if that's the same knee. I don't know what the situation is. So I'm not going to talk about it because it looked to me, he stutter step planted on his right knee and it just caved in. It was before he was really hit. And I think that his career is over. And you hate to see that, but the Browns simply have to move on. I think the running game has looked subpar, Double P. I don't think there's been much blocking up front. I watched Nick Harris, as he's supposed to be our starting center last year, get beat for a sack, and he just put up very passive resistance. I want to see more effort from the second string, second unit, third unit guys who are trying to make this team, have a chance to make practice squad. I would like to see a little bit more fire from those people. I really am a little bit concerned about DTR only because this is what you would expect to happen in a faster tempoed game. And hopefully we don't have to rely on DTR. But I want to see him feel like he can go with his instincts to some degree. And Kevin Stefanski has a way of taking that away from quarterbacks. And I'm just not high on this head coach. I never will be high on him. And as the losses pile up because of his bizarre controlling nature, but not aggressiveness, mind you. It's a passive aggressive thing that he doesn't want people to actually blossom and do things in a creative way. He has his thumb over everything, and it's just total mediocrity. So what else do we have here statistically? As far as defense is concerned, AJ Green has 6 tackles. And you know, the touchdown they gave up to Perrine was pathetic. I don't know. I mean, Ronnie Hickman missed tackled. There are at least 3 people who missed tackles on that play. No excuses for that. Juan Thornhill had a big step in pick 6. That's a good play. The thing that pissed me off on the national coverage, the other pick resulted directly from a fantastic hit by the Browns secondary. And they were saying, well, you know, the receiver just didn't hold on to the ball. And the fact is, it was a great hit. And obviously the Browns don't get any credit when they do something good defensively. But so many people have played in this game. I don't know. I have nothing about Kunazik as far as what happened to him and what the story is with him. We're not seeing very much of, Owusu Koromoa was there by batting a pass down. Browns did that a lot by penetrating the line of scrimmage. There was a lot more sending the kitchen sink in to the backfield. I noted that as well, and batting passes down because they were just outnumbering people at the line. So that was a good thing. The interceptions, Juan Thornhill and Caleb Biggers. Biggers went for the 6, and then Rodney McLeod, who was the beneficiary of the big hit behind him, and that was a big to do. We have no kickoff returner once again. We already know that, and we have no punt returner either. Cade York, I would hope that maybe he has a chance to kick some field goals in the second half. Bojarquez averaging 51.5 yards per punt. Good stuff. Except not inside the 10. They're all going into the end zone, which isn't the best thing in the world. Yeah, this is a long game. And normally I would be on the air a half an hour sooner, it seems to me. But I'm late for a most important date. Okay, very good, Mr. Talevsky. He's my man. Knee injury for Kunisic, that's too bad. Jordan Elliott has a hip injury, and I don't know where that happened. I didn't even see that happen. And I agree with you, Bronk. DPJ is not a punt returner, and it just risks something bad happening on this field. Tillman, well, he's got to get open, and I'm hoping that we give one more quarter to DTR because he needs the time on the field. He really does. So I'm hoping they bring him out and let him play more because he's got to get used to the tempo and the speed of the game. Even if he's facing second stringers, these guys might be better players than what he's been facing. And eventually it comes down to reads and patience and cool-headedness, and he's got to experience everything along the way. My 12 minutes is over, and it's not even 12 minutes of fame. What I can say is I'm going to be right back after the game with the post-game show. Please jump in and hit the link on the post-game as far as the show description, and you can get transported right into the studio, and you can make your comments about what's happening in the aftermath of the game. Thanks a lot. Let's enjoy the second half, and I'll see you right after the game. Until then, hasta la vista, Fasterheads. See ya after the game.